Hello everyone, and now welcome to game 2 in the series. Let's go ahead and focus on the players. It is going to be Elfi spawning as the red Protoss on the top left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, he will be going up against Thorzain from Evil Geniuses spawning as the blue Terran on the bottom right hand side of the map. Now, my apologies for just a second. Need to bring up my volume control. I hate it when I do that. Alright. Okay, it's the beginning portion of the game. There you go. No problems there. Technical things going on as the games do get underway. So, Thorzain is spawning here as the blue Terran player on the bottom right, as I mentioned. Elfi spawning on the top left as the red Protoss. And one of the things I really wanted to see in this Terran versus Protoss matchup is just a development of the metagame. Now, Thorzain and Elfi, two very strong players, and we are going to be seeing some rather unique strategies, as we did see a rather interesting opening in game 1. Elfi looked like he was chrono boosting out an additional probe and purposely wasted a chrono boost on his Nexus, canceled the probe later in order to head fake Thorzain. Now, Thorzain, in response, thought that he could apply some earlier pressure and tried to attack, not realizing that his opponent had actually gotten a second gateway very quickly. On top of that, Elfi proxied a robotics facility for a proxy warp prism and was able to really harass heavily with a lot of zealots inside the base. That's what I'll call more of a strategy or strategic opening that was able to get the victory there. And I do normally like strategic openings as opposed to those giant duke it out 200 supply fights where it's so difficult to keep track of what's going on, and there's as much luck as there is skill in being able to respond and react accordingly. Now, Elfi is opening up. He does have 3 probes on the assimilator right now, gonna be chrono boosting this out as well. Meanwhile, looking at Thorzain, Thorzain is opening up with a refinery and now going into a factory. It looks as though it will be some tech options once more, and I'm curious as to the opening that Thorzain will be going. Is he gonna go for that reactor? No, going for a tech lab instead. So we are going to see a tech lab perhaps for some Marauders. No, there's a cancellation. A very easy way to lose out on a bunch of resources. Not quite sure why he canceled it. Wanted more Marines after, I guess, scouting out his opponent and seeing that Stalkers were coming out, or perhaps seeing that there was double assimilators. Now, this double assimilator build with 2 probes on gas each is very common for Protoss players in the early portion of the game. The reason why it's common is there's less diminishing returns for each of these probes. If you actually calculate how much gas each probe is able to collect over a minute, it's actually best and highest at 2 probes per assimilator. The third one does cap it off. You do harvest faster, but it is actually less probes or less gas per probe per minute. The number of trips that they do is slightly less, and that is the reason why. Robotics facility now coming in from Elfi. So Elfi opening up with the robotics facility. We are seeing a Nexus and also a command center come down from both of these players. It appears that this will be a much more straight up macro matchup than we saw in game 1, and we shouldn't have any real aggression coming out from either of these players until the 8 to 9 minute mark, unless they try and once again go into even heavier economic game where Thorzain could try to build a second or third command center here to eventually lift off and land here. Now, let's take a look at the overall status of the game. Production buildings very limited for both the Protoss and the Terran. Terran will be going up into 4 production buildings. Meanwhile, it looks as the Protoss will be going into 4 production buildings in just a moment. And is Warp Gate research completed? Yes, it is, as Elfi now getting his first Warp Gate online. Now, Thorzain hoping to be able to hold off any aggression with 1 bunker here. And right now, I don't see anything that really tells what the next strategy will be. So far, this one factory has trained up, I believe, I thought there was a Hellion on the field at one point. A Hellion to do a little bit of early scouting. It may have actually been taken down by a... Yes, maybe taken down by a Stalker earlier, as we are going to see a Marine move out and trying to hold a Xel'Naga tower. Elfi going to get in a lot of good scouting information with this observer. Observer already in position to take a look around the map. We can see that Thorzain still running only off of 2 gas, hasn't taken the gas at the natural yet. And we are seeing that double tech lab single reactor build that's so common for Terran players, able to double train up Marauders while double training Marines. Elfi going to be responding with a robotics bay and then hoping to get extended thermal lance range with those Colossi. If the timing does prove to be successful though, I expect Thorzain to attack sometime around the 9-minute mark to 9:30 mark, and hoping that stim pack is completed. Let's take a look. It's going to be around the 9:30 to almost 10 o'clock mark. He should be able to attack with stim pack completed. Surprised that there is no combat shield, but he will at least have 1/1 upgrades, which is also beneficial for those Marauders. The timing on this will be that there should be perhaps at most 1 Colossus, but no extended thermal lance range. And without that extended thermal lance range, that Colossus can still easily get sniped. The key question will also be the number of sentries that Elfi has in play. If Elfi gets those sentries off and does it in the correct manner, he could split up that Marine Marauder force so that the half of the group is behind the force fields, making it so that the Colossus cannot get sniped. Now, it will come down to control. I do expect a move out from Thorzain any time now, as we are seeing a factory just still floating off here, and there's still an observer here, so it looks as though the attack isn't going to be coming in. I would have sworn that Thorzain is going to attack here. The extended thermal lance range only needs about another 100 seconds or so, and by the time Thorzain moves out, he may actually be dealing with extended thermal lance range Colossi. The second Colossus now coming into play. We see that there are double chances for chrono boost. The extended thermal lance range perhaps needs to be chrono boost even further. Each chrono boost does shave off 10 seconds. As the Marines and the Marauders are now on the move with those medevacs. Here we go. Here is that attack. The Zealots will be able to spot this very, very easily. There is 1 Marauder off over here. Are we getting the extended thermal lance range chrono boosted out? No, it looks like it's going to be more focused on the Colossus. Colossus could get 1 more chrono boost out to be slightly faster. Extended thermal lance range really needs to get done in a hurry. And Elfi may be kicking himself for not chrono boosting out that extended thermal lance range. It does need a little bit more time to complete. You can see a 10-second difference would be absolutely huge at this point. And we are getting that second Colossus out now. All right, Marines and Marauders are backing off. I think the window of opportunity for Thorzain to attack has pretty much closed. And Elfi should be able to go into a very, very strong counter move with 3 Colossi. Stalkers are going to be there to try and counteract all of those Vikings, especially with Blink. Production is showing more and more gateways operational. 6 warp gates will be up soon. And now all Thorzain has is a very large army with nothing that he can really do. He's going to try to capitalize on the upgrades, though. You can see that it looks like 2-2 upgrades, or at least 2-2 upgrades should be started soon for Elfi. There you go, 2-2 upgrades now getting started. It is being chrono boosted out, and that is the benefit of Elfi. Elfi being able to actually catch up and perhaps surpass Thorzain in the upgrade arms race. Factory now making its way in as well. Thorzain knows the timing. He cannot engage at all. There are now 3 Colossi on the field, and we should now start to see that general move towards a Twilight Council, which is already out, into a Templar Archives for Psystorm. As Thorzain has more and more time to work with in order to add to his Viking army, the Vikings will be able to shut down the Colossi well before the Colossi can destroy that ground army. So I'm still waiting for when that Templar Archives will be coming in. Colossi are upgraded 1-1, will soon be 2-2, but we see that Thorzain will also be at 2-2 upgrades, and there's the Templar Archives now going down. Let's take a look at the overall strategies here. The main base of Elfi now starting to get mined out. 300 resources at some of them, getting rather low. 1 photon cannon being added here, and you can see 1 lone zealot at 1 hit point and 50 shields will do his job, get sent back to Ire. it's not Ire, gets sent back somewhere. And now the one lone Marine all juiced up, ready to go. I believe that Marine actually moved fast enough so that the Colossi couldn't attack. Here you go, there's the engagement. And now there's the Guardian Shield. Stalkers coming over and blinking. Beautiful force fields as Thorzain now trying to get in position. The force fields, however, a double-edged sword as the Vikings are now going after the Colossi. One Colossus is left. The Vikings need to shoot it down. The Marauders now making their way over and now able to take this down as well. Marauders also taking down the pylon, and Elfi taking a bit of damage here. This is not good news for him at all. More Zealots now need to warp in, and now Stalker's able to get up onto the high ground. The Zealots now trying to make their way in. The Nexus looks like it will not get taken down here, but the Medivacs, nope, it looks like the Marauders will get taken down. The Stalkers, will they be able to blink forward? One Medivac goes down, a second Medivac goes down, and with that final exchange, I'm not sure who lost more. That Nexus worth 400 resources versus the Medivac, a full Medivac with Marauders worth 700 resources. The key difference will be the lost mining time, as we can see Harvester count 57 compared to 46 and less diminishing returns, and now 4-5 mules working it here at the third base. Thorzain really did come out ahead there. You can see the Mobius reactor now coming in. Level 2 ship upgrades coming in for those Vikings. Now, it has become much more common practice for Terran players to actually go into double starport with double reactors. You can see with the loss of those 2 Medivacs, there are only 2 Medivacs in play for Thorzain. Thorzain, however, not wanting to perhaps over-invest in Medivacs, sitting on only 2 Medivacs here. And what's going on? These Medivacs just simply on patrol, same control group. Now we are sitting at 121 supply versus 117. That is a little bit deceptive, as all the units that are being trained up right now for Thorzain are in the total for Thorzain's supply. Meanwhile, Elfi, as soon as that warp gate timing is ready, he can just warp in a whole bunch of units and surpass his opponent. Let's take a look at the overall numbers. Looking at the spending, very, very effective spending coming in from Elfi. Now back over here, the Stalkers did not engage. You can take a look. No shields have been lost here. Elfi now sitting with 6, count them, 6 High Templar, and is ready for a very strong counterattack. Now, however, they will be going up against 5 Ghosts with EMP, and this may be a bit of a problem. Here you go. Are we going to perhaps see some feedback? Yes, double feedback on the 2 Ghosts there. Or is that, nope, onto a Ghost and another, onto a Ghost. That Ghost is pretty much out of energy. There is still 1 Observer in position as the scanner sweep does reveal and take down that Observer. Or the Vikings take down that Observer. Now, it's very important for the Observers, as Elfi needs to be able to feed back those Ghosts before they get in position. Let's take a look at this composition. The Ghosts are in the very, very back now. One Marine is juiced up, performance enhancing drugs, as the Zealot now trying to catch up, unable to do exactly that. And now, oh, there's a Psystorm catching some of those units there, but nothing that 4 Medivacs cannot quickly heal up once more. Where are those High Templars? Where are they positioned? 1 probe now trying to run away. High Templars should be somewhere on the field. I don't spot them. Did we lose them all? No, there are 7 High Templars. Oh, there they are. Right there. Too many hit point bars sometimes, as the High Templars, Zealots, and Stalkers are ready to move out. Alright, coming in, you can now already see Thorzain looking to establish up his 4th base. Mainly going to be transferring SCVs from his main base over. Also, the engineering bays are already done with those upgrades. You can see 3-3 upgrades against 3-3 upgrades momentarily. Thorzain will have a window of opportunity to attack while winning the arms race, but I don't believe he will be doing exactly that. Marines now making a quick move forward, will be able to establish control at this very forward Xel'Naga tower. Marines dealing a lot of damage and attacking very, very quickly here. Now, Marauders looking to make their way forward. Planetary Fortress being upgraded off here, and now with a 4th base for Thorzain, or a 3rd mining base, as this mining base will get taken out, Thorzain will be able to replenish his army much, much faster. Elfi in a very strange situation. He does have 10 High Templar, and is he going to actually make a move forward? There is one Marauder off over here. That Marauder will get taken down as you see him try to take a little bit of a forward location and perhaps establish that expansion momentarily. There are observers in position all across the map, and we are going to see all those High Templars are very well split, so they will not all sit on one. Oh, beautiful blink forward. EMP Shockwave hitting some of those Zealots. The Zealots, however, no worse for wear as of yet, as the Colossi now need to back off. Vikings now grouping together, doing a bit of flanking and banking in the front position. 12 Vikings now with level 2, almost level 3 upgrades should be able to take down these Colossi pretty easily. Alright, here we go. Ghosts are moving forward. Feedback now hitting in. Zealots now charging in as well. Zealots now need to back away as we see an EMP Shockwave hitting a lot of units there. And a beautiful snipe taking down more units. Alright, Zealots now trying to come in. We are seeing some attacks here. Vikings now flying through the storm, taking a lot of damage. High Templars still have some energy, but not much, as Elfi needs to get in position once again. You can see High Templars are off over here. And who has lost out more? We are still neck and neck. Army compositions show a much higher army count for Thorzain than Elfi. Additional command centers now being built, and this is where Thorzain can really utilize the effectiveness of mules in order to free up some supply. Colossi are in position. Where are they going to be traveling to next? They are now going to be dealing with fully upgraded, or at least 3 attack upgraded Vikings. Those Vikings are going to be that glass cannon needed to destroy those Colossi. Once the Colossi are down, the rest of the units should be in a very good position. So far, we are getting ready for another attack. Stalkers getting in position and able to take down a Viking or 2 once again. Nicely done. But the Vikings are now in a very forward position. Are the Ghosts perhaps going to be trying to run in? And what is this? A very bad position there, as some units are now fighting back and forth. We can see that all of the Ghosts are currently cloaked, so that means that their energy will be depleting. All right, we'll see what will be happening next. Stalkers and Zealots now trying to make another move forward. Photon cannons and Zealots still protecting this base off over here, even though there's not much mining going on. Here's another engagement, and what is the attack going? EMP Shockwave hitting some units, but not very much. There is still 2 Colossi, and if we see a large transition into Archons, it is really going to start boiling down to the number of Ghosts that are on the field. The Vikings will need to go into ground mode, and I believe actually Immortals will be the better choice here. Immortals absolutely rip apart Vikings, as some very quick snipes almost take down a Zealot. Here we go. Archons now in position. Are they going to be able to make that move forward? A very good flanking position here. Where's that EMP coming in from? There's the EMP. Oh, sorry. There's a Psystorm all across the Vikings. The Vikings are now pretty much trying to run away, as the Archons and the Zealots are going to be able to battle out. Thorzain with the supply advantage, as all of those Archons are just getting destroyed. More EMP coming in. An Archon not standing a chance, and now trying to run away. Archons backing away once again. Zealots now still charging down the ramp. And still we have a whole bunch of Ghosts here. The Ghost, really expensive units for their supply, but very effective, as we now see more Psystorm and more EMP Shockwaves. Alright, it looks like Thorzain is winning out in this battle. A beautiful Psystorm taking down some more Ghosts there. Ghosts are now cloaking in order to engage better, as Psystorm is being rained down on more of those units. Can the Archons perhaps deal a bit of damage? No, they are going to get taken down, even as those Marauders don't deal bonus damage to them. But with all of their shields gone, 10 hit points is not a lot. Elfi has lost more now, as we now start to see a 50 supply discrepancy between these bases. Thorzain really benefiting from these mules now, having 7 mules at a time. Nexus with plenty of Chrono Boost energy, and this is where Chrono Boost does tend to fall off just a bit. Not very helpful at all. And we'll see what the Nexus, what Blizzard will try to do with that a little bit later in Heart of the Swarm, if they'll even address it at all. Zealots now getting slowed down. Once again, here we are. We're going to see an engagement, and the Vikings now making their way forward. Vikings going after the Colossus. Colossus only gets off 2 attacks, and the Ghosts in the back behind those Marauders able to finish off the Zealots very easily, as the Ghosts are now trying to make another move forward. Vikings now backing off as it looks as though Marauders chasing away those units, and Elfi in a bit of trouble. Now down by over 50% of his opponent's supply. That's never in a position that you want to be. He wasn't able to engage very well at all, and he allowed Thorzain to really macro up a huge number of Ghosts. Those Ghosts at 3/3 upgrades also shut down Zealots, as a combination of what Ghost and Marauders able to finish off much of the units here. You can take a look. There's not that many Marines on the field, as those Ghosts have such high DPS against what Marauders normally have trouble with. All right, High Templar still being added here. I think at this point Thorzain has just taken a big chunk out of Elfi's army and is slowly letting him bleed as Thorzain is recovering faster. SCVs are now walking over to get killed. Let's take a look at the worker kill count, or the worker count. It is now 62 to 60. SCVs are falling here, as we are now going to be going into more orbital commands. We can see 3 command centers now being built. That's most likely going to be a planetary fortress. Ghost now looking to get off some EMP shockwaves, able to do exactly that. A beautiful Psystorm, almost taking down a Ghost or two. But that's all that's really happening. The Ghosts are able to back away still consistently, as we now see, what is that, 21 Ghosts. And that is going to be a whole bunch of death here. Oh, a Ghost now able to cloak back. EMP shockwave hitting a whole bunch of units. Vikings now going after the Colossi. Colossi pretty much out of shields already. Vikings now going to finish off the Colossi. Are they going to go into ground mode? No even real need to, as the Stalkers blink away. Ghosts sitting at now down to only 11. A lot of Ghosts were lost there, but those Ghosts are still very, very effective, as we now see Elfi trying to perhaps establish another base over here. Will he be able to do exactly that? Planetary Fortress, as I expected. These command centers should be upgrading to Orbital Command. Thorzain should be able to sacrifice even more workers, but this slow bleeding of Elfi, as Elfi also does not have shield upgrades. Shield upgrades, I've heard arguments for and against shield upgrades. I believe shield upgrades are absolutely necessary when you're facing against a Zerg as a Protoss, but against a Terran, because of the number of Ghosts that Thorzain has, those EMP shockwaves are pretty much negating any effectiveness that those Archons would normally have. Vikings are now in position here. We can see Medivacs are on the move. Let's see, Zealots now charging in. Are they going to be able to deal some damage to the Planetary Fortress? No, especially without Colossi and that all-important siege range. Marines and Marauders perhaps looking to do a bit of a drop, unable to do anything there, unable to make anything happen, as we now see another small scuffle here. Right now, all Thorzain is trying to do is it's trying to force Elfi to make a mistake. Ghosts are in position, able to still get off easy shots here. Are they going to have an engagement? And here we go, Psystorm. Vikings, a little bit of a bad exchange here, but Thorzain with the supply advantage should be able to come out on top. Not quite sure why the Vikings aren't just bothering to go into ground mode, and perhaps expecting a Colossus to come in, and there are still no Colossi. Marauders now coming in as well. The Vikings are just flying forward. There's another Psystorm. The Vikings taking in a little bit more damage. Thorzain should just land all of these Vikings here, but doesn't bother to do so, and he still gets the victory. So Elfi able to even up the series at Thorzain able to even up the series at 1 game apiece. Stay tuned for game 3.